Greetings and welcome to another Van Man Talks podcast. Now, I'm very excited today because I actually have my sister as my guest to talk to me, which is great. I've got Trudy, my sister, and specifically got Trudy today because the subject that I want to talk about is local businesses, which is a topic that we're both very entwined in because we both have very small businesses. And it's a topic that I know Trudy's as passionate about this as I am, because I just feel as time has gone on, more of our money seems to be going to big corporations and we seem to be forgetting a little bit about local businesses. And I know a lot of people are keen on this stuff, but I still think there was one moment, I don't know whether you've had this, Trudy, actually, where I actually looked at my bank transactions and I saw that like Jeff Bezos and Amazon was taking about 20% of my salary.
Amazon and Sainsbury's mostly for
Yeah,
me, I think.
I mean, why is this happening? And on this podcast today, I want to talk a little bit about helping local businesses. We're both very passionate about this because we both have local businesses, and I'm not going to get away with having a shameless plug for my sister's travel consultancy, because if you guys are planning a holiday, I cannot suggest more. Getting a quote from my sister. Her service is fantastic, and I'm not going to do this video without giving Trudy's business a shameless plug. So,
I wouldn't
Trudy,
be on
do you want
it.
to do you want to just describe a little bit what you do for the viewers?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you said, I'm a travel agent. It kind of goes back to the old school travel agent that we used to have on the high street. So back when I first started in travel, when I left school, which would have been 98, I worked for a company called Lumpoly, which some of you might remember. They had the classic getaway slogan and the tartan uniforms, and that's how everyone booked their holidays. So people would come to the high street. And they would pop into a travel agent, and there would be brochures, and they'd sort of maybe have an idea of where they wanted to go, but effectively the travel agents would take care of everything for them. Um, and then obviously since then the internet happened, and people turned more towards booking themselves online and finding themselves a bargain. During that time I worked a lot for call centres, so I've always done travel, but I worked more for the tour operator side. But I think given COVID changed everything really in a lot of ways, and for the travel industry, although it was a horrendous time because obviously nobody could travel, I think people suddenly started to understand the value of travel agents. And we're going back, I'm seeing a lot of people come back more to this traditional travel agent. So the service that I offer is effectively everything from start to finish. So some people have an idea of roughly what they want to do, some people know exactly what they want to do, and some people haven't got a clue. But what I'll do is just take as much information as possible to find out exactly what you want from a holiday. I'll find out budgets and what's important to you, what you want from a hotel, or what your itinerary, what you want to include. And I'll basically do all the hard work. So as we know, it's great, if you're just booking a simple flight with EasyJet online, there's no problem. But if you're wanting to book anything slightly more complex, there is a lot to it, and it takes a lot of time. Even just researching a hotel takes so much time because you think you found it, and then you go on TripAdvisor and you're, oh no, it looks dreadful, and I'm not sure about the location. So it's first and foremost taking away the time. I make it a lot easier. But then also I'm there. I'm like the personal touch that you don't get from booking online. So from one, I'll deal with all the quote, I'll get everything booked, but I'm there for you whenever you need it me. Like, so a lot of my clients will come to me with, really small little questions. Is there a toaster in the room? Or toaster, there wouldn't be a toaster in the room. Is there a kettle in the room? Or, just little things like that they a toaster. Just little questions, and I'm there. Like I generally I'm always accessible. I have WhatsApp and my emails on my phone, so most of the time I'll reply straight away, if not the next day. And I think people just like that personal contact and that little bit of reassurance that there's somebody there if there is a crisis, which in travel does happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, I like that. This is the thing of exactly what you were just saying. There seemed to be a time where, for some reason, everyone just felt that they had to plan every single aspect of their holiday themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I think that came along with the internet, with the budget flights and stuff.
100%, yeah.
But also, like, I get over the last 15, 20 years, we've had cost of living crisis, people were trying to save and stuff like that. I get that, but I mean, what I personally love about when I book a holiday through you is I can just be sitting at home. Me and Maria, my wife, would just be watching a few YouTube videos or something. We'll see something. We'll watch a video on Naples, and I'll think, oh God, yeah, I'd really fancy that. And I know I can just send you a message and go, look, I've been looking at Naples. We're thinking January next year. I really like this location. I like what's going on here. I really want to do this. I really want to do that. And I can just send that over to you, and then you can just come up with an itinerary, send it back to me with a price. And just all that hassle of trailing online, trying to find all the different aspects is taken away. And I don't know why that's been lost for so long. Like I say, everyone seems to think that they just plan their holiday, every single aspect themselves. And holidays are supposed to be relaxing. You know, we're going away this weekend to Poland, and I love the fact that you've booked everything. Everything is booked. Our tours, everything is sorted. You know, if I'd done it myself, I'd be stressing, or when I get there, I'm like, oh, I've got to try and find that bus stop, and there's a language barrier, and I'm not sure about the prices and all that stuff. I just know that it's all sorted. With it just makes life so much more easier when you book that way.
I always say that, you know, there's that level of expertise as well. So if you're I don't know, if your plumbing's, like you had it, didn't you, with your bathroom a while back, your shower was out or whatever, you know, you might have tried to attempt to fix it yourself, and you might have got a few YouTube tutorials and got it right, but chances are you'd probably have cocked it up and ended up with a leak somewhere. Or, you know, if you need a professional job doing, you go to the professional. So I've been in travels 20 over 25 years. I can't think how old I am, but a very long time. And I know the ins and outs of the travel industry. I know what companies to avoid. I know who to use to book certain things. I can recommend destinations at certain times of the year, and that's my expertise. Like you're getting my 25 years in the industry, rather than just going online and taking the tour operator's word for it and having no sort of backup if you need it. So that's
Yeah.
kind of what you're getting with me.
That is the other thing, because same with hotels. Like, I know that the hotels that you're going to book are going to be researched well. You know, you're not going to get crap.
No,
So
it's of no benefit to me to give you a crap holiday, because I need you to come back and book with me again. So if I send you somewhere that's a bit dodgy, and you hate it and you have a horrible time, like, you're not going to book with me again, because even if it wasn't my fault that the hotel was, do you know what I mean? It would
yeah,
already give you a bad taste. So it's in my benefit to make sure you have the best holiday,
exactly.
so that you recommend me.
I'm gonna put your details up on screen, and yeah, this is your Facebook page, but email address, most important thing there. So guys, if you're thinking about having a holiday and you just want to take the stress out, and you want to help a local business, which is exactly what I'm going to get onto in a minute, which is what we're going to talk about. If you want to help a local business rather than giving your money over to big corporations, if you want to help a local business and you know where you want to go, just send an email. Trudy will send you look into exactly what you want, and send you a quote back. But that is the main thing that I want to talk about, really, is the local business side of this, because this is one of the things that I like when I book a holiday through you. I know that instead of, I just mentioned my money going to Jeff Bezos or whatever, I know when I book a holiday through you, I know that I'm paying for, like, my niece's football boots or something. You know, these sort of things
Boots for
I
one,
really
ballet shoes
like.
for the other. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this, really, and I think this has been lost a lot. I know a lot of people are cautious about looking into spending their money with local businesses, but it just life gets in the way sometimes. It's hard. Amazon is so easy, isn't it, for
Yeah.
things. You just click, and I understand, like I said, after the last 15-20 years, I don't want to get too political on this video because we're talking about local businesses, but times have been hard.
Yeah,
The money that we have now doesn't go as far, but we've kind of lost everything that you were just saying about. But we've lost that art of going to experts. We've kind of, I think it definitely coincides with the internet age, where we all just, in a way, think we're experts ourselves and want to try and tackle everything ourselves and try and organise a holiday. And we've just missed that art of actually, do you know what? If you go to an expert, it's a lot easier. And to be honest, is it really going to cost that much more anyway? Probably not, is it?
No, I mean, and this is the thing, like, I completely understand the cost because I'm incredibly price led. Like, I'm always looking for a bargain, and I do understand. But again, a lot of the time, I'm not saying every time, but a lot of the time, my prices are actually really competitive with what you'll get on the internet, and I can book like your standard, like our trip to Poland this weekend. It's an EasyJet package holiday. We could have easily booked it online, but the difference I have is that I will contact the hotel. This is for us, but I'll do this for all my clients. Contact the hotel before we go. So as you know, I've spoken to the hotel on our behalf and made sure that they allocate us quiet rooms because we've heard that some of the rooms can be a bit noisy. So I'll do those extra steps. So
Mm.
you're getting the same price as you would as if you booked it online, but with me you're getting the extra bits. So but sometimes I'm not always price competitive, and certainly with some complex itineraries, it might be a little bit more expensive to book through me. You might save yourself a few £100s to book all the components separately, but you're not getting the package holiday protection that you'd get with me. So with me, as you know, there's been loads of crises recently. I'm trying to think of one that springs to mind, but I had clients stuck in Boston because their flight was cancelled, and if they'd booked that themselves online, that would be them. That they would
Yeah.
have to then figure out how to get home. Whereas I actually knew that their flight had been cancelled before they even knew. And I'd already rebooked them onto another flight with a different connection. And then I was able to contact them and go, right, bad news is this. However, we've sorted out this. And
Mm.
that's what you get. And yeah, price wise, it's sometimes I'm more expensive, but not always. And I do think it is all about value. And I think you definitely get value booking with an agent.
Yeah. So one thing I want to ask you, since starting a local business, how long have you been doing the local travel business
Oh,
now?
well, I started in 2019, didn't I? The year before
Okay.
COVID. So,
Yeah, of course.
so really good. Not a great start, I must admit.
Even
So
more reason to support a local
yeah,
business there through
exactly. Well,
the
obviously, I had
tragedy
to
of
get
2020, being a travel consultant. Literally, probably the worst job to have
worst
during
worst
2020,
time
right?
I could have started. So I did have to pick myself up another job during that time. But I am exclusively back to doing just travel work now. So I've had the business for 5 years, but I really only count the last 2 years of properly trading because the first couple were a bit of a write off, really. So.
Yeah. So what I wanted to ask you is, since running a local business, are you more conscious about using local businesses yourself?
I don't know why, during COVID, did you find that a lot of people were doing that whole shop local thing? I don't know where it
Mm.
started, but I think ever since then I have. But also as well, we've recently moved to Amring, which is quite a small village, and it's quite cute because you do have like the local butchers, the local fish
Mm.
shop, the local little restaurants, and they are all independent, which is nice. So yeah, but as I've said before, I am, always price led. So unfortunately, we can't always afford to shop at the butchers as much as I'd love to. But yeah, it has made me a lot more aware, and I do hate when I have to give my money to big corporations.
Yeah. So I mean, that is the thing with money. Like, obviously, there's some areas that you just can't. In a cost of living crisis, you have to go for the cheaper option, especially when you're raising a family and all this sort of thing. But there's so many areas where you don't need to now. Um, I'm gonna I'm gonna give a really bizarre example here, but like just like a takeaway, for instance,
Mm,
like McDonald's have such a massive share of takeaways, but you've got, especially going deliver or what, if you've got so many options of little independent takeaways where you can get a burger as well,
probably
and
way better. Yeah.
well, yeah, that's the thing, better, but and also places like McDonald's, they have this illusion of making you think that it's actually cheaper, but it's not. Like, have you ever seen that meme of like the evolution of the Big Mac, where like they show the Big Mac in the 80s and it was actually huge, like a
Was it
Big
actually
Mac
what
in
it
the
would look like in the
80s.
picture?
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. It's marketed as a Big Mac. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
big, and it's actually got smaller over the years.
Yeah.
And they've done that on purpose because they don't want you just going in and getting a Big Mac meal. They want you to go in and get a Big Mac meal and some chicken nuggets,
But
a
they want
little
you to go
cheeky
large as well, don't
chicken,
they?
yeah,
That's the
chicken mayo on the side and stuff like this. So once you've got all those extras, you're paying the same as what you would if you went down Dave's Burger Place and he actually gives you a decent sized burger and a decent
yeah.
sized fries and all these little things where sometimes we just think that, we're getting something cheaper, but quite often we're not. I'm gonna give you another example, which will make you laugh, because I'm gonna say my mum, but it's actually our mum. So our mum, every single winter, and you probably know this, gets a new pair of pajamas from Primark.
From Primark, yeah.
Do you know this? Every single
Yeah,
and
yeah,
every
yeah,
single
and le and
winter,
leggin and leggings every summer.
yeah, and every single winter I say to her, Mum, why don't you, instead of like getting the 10 quid Primark PJs, why don't you just spend like 50 quid on a decent pair that are gonna last? And she always makes me
Dream, isn't
laugh.
it? It's that
But it's so
economy thing,
true.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, but this is, I don't know. Have you ever seen what happens to, those bins that they have in as the car park and stuff where you put all your clothes?
Oh, don't. I don't know if I wanna know. What do they do with it? It's not
Oh,
landfill, is it?
well, no, actually, I'm going to make you quite
No, no, no,
upset.
tell me, go on, it's
Well, no,
fine.
I have to, but
I
this
take
is
most of mine
why
for a
like
charity shop,
fast
so
fashion is
oh,
one of
fast
the
fashion's
things that
awful, yeah.
I hate the most. Even though I mean I used to work for Primark,
Yeah.
so I know this industry quite well. But I'm a massive advocate. This is what I'm talking about. Small businesses, if you can get good quality clothes that will last, that's another art that we've kind of lost. But Primark, cheap fashion, where you're buying PJs every single year, and yeah, you take them down that bin that's in Asda car park. That gets put into a shipping container. It gets sent to countries in Africa, where basically they go through all the clothes because the majority of people that put their clothes in there are stuff that's got holes in. It's
Oh,
just
yeah,
crap.
rubbish stained, yeah.
So the guys in these African countries, they siphon through all the clothes. They find the one out of about 30 items that they can actually sell, and the rest of it gets dumped. It gets burnt. It's on beaches. I'm in the edit. I'm going to put some footage up of exactly where this stuff goes because it is absolutely horrific.
Oh, don't, yeah, I can
And
imagine.
I know that so many people like care about this stuff, but I don't think everyone actually knows the ins
Well,
and outs
I
of the.
didn't have a clue where those bins go, I must admit. I think most of our secondhand stuff, if it's good quality, I'll put it on, particularly the kids stuff. If it's good quality, I'll put it on eBay or Vinted. But
Yeah,
anything else tends to go to charity shops. I very rarely use the bins, but that's
yeah,
just
that's a really good point because one of the points that people make for going to places like Primark for kids' clothes is because they grow out of them so quick,
yeah,
which is a valid point. But I like the fact that more people now, especially on like Facebook Marketplace and stuff, are giving away their clothes. We need to go back to that a little
yeah.
bit more. And
Definitely. I'm well up for secondhand stuff. Like majority of particularly shoes and things I've just bought because Delilah, my youngest, she's just started a dance club, but it needed ballet shoes, leotards, tap shoes, the whole thing. And apart from the leotard, I've managed to get everything on Marketplace
yeah,
secondhand for a fraction of the price because I can't afford to buy
yeah.
the stuff new. But then it's good because it means it's being reused and it's not
That's
going to
amazing.
landfill.
That's
So
what I
yeah,
like. And we're talking about people being price conscious. That's where things like that are good, because I started this video by saying I'm sick and tired of massive percentages of my salary going to Jeff Bezos at Amazon and all
yeah,
these big corporations, and Primark being one. You don't necessarily have to keep just buying kids' clothes from Primark. I get the argument that they grow out of them quick, but there's so many different options, secondhand stuff, and especially because kids are growing out of them quick as well, are generally
yeah,
fine. You can go through them, and then going on to my industry, my local business, because we both run a small local business. So mine is
yeah.
second-hand furniture,
I'm sitting
and
on
it's
one of your
that
sofas
that
now.
yeah, yeah. One of my sofas, and this is so my big grievance is like Ikea and stuff like that. Like Ikea have been threatening to come into Brighton for a while now. I think they've settled on they're actually going to have like a click and collect place or something. I think round Lyons Farm in
I was
Worthing.
gonna say I think that's where they're building it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but so much IKEA furniture ends up in landfill. You can get IKEA furniture that lasts for a while if it just stays in your house, but as soon as you sort of go to resell it and it moves to another place and it has to be moved, it kind of just it's not solid. You can't beat like well made pine furniture, which is the sort of stuff that I sell.
Oh, you've
Um,
totally opened my mind up. When we moved house to secondhand furniture, I would never have dreamed that you could get such beautiful quality furniture for like a fraction of the price, and it's, you know, you've pretty much kitted out our house. We needed new everything, really, didn't we? Because we had the children's wardrobes. I think they were either Argus or they were some, you know, some cheap put together package, and you've replaced them with beautiful pine wardrobes, which are
Yeah,
going to last them, you know, till
but
they
that's
move
the
out
thing.
probably. So
Yeah,
and it, like you say, that's not more expensive. Like, you can get really good secondhand furniture for a fraction of the price that you'd pay for rubbish
yeah.
Argus furniture. So that's definitely good value. Things like that I can really see the value in, definitely.
Yeah, but that, you know, that's what I'm saying. Whether it's cheap Primark clothes or cheap IKEA furniture or cheap holidays that you've tried to find online and not gone to an
You get
expert,
what
you
you
know,
pay for, don't you? You get what you
exactly.
pay for, and sometimes it is a false economy, because, you know, you might get a cheap bargain holiday, but it might be rubbish, and then you've wasted your one, potentially most people only have one holiday a year. Your one holiday a year, you want it to be special, don't you? So, and like you
Yeah.
say, with mum's pajamas, if she's replacing them every year,
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. Sometimes you think something is cheaper because you see a pair of pajamas for 10 quid, but if you got 10 quid every single year,
mm,
you know, it doesn't end up being cheaper in the end. And good quality furniture and stuff that can be resold and passed on.
yeah,
You know, going back to, you know, it is a real fight sometimes to not just click on Amazon when something needs replacing. But the other day I needed a new gardening fork. Really boring, but I need a new garlic fork. And my first instinct was, oh, let's see what's going on Amazon. I was thinking, hang on, it's like Sunday morning today. The car boot sale is up the road. I'll just go up the car boot
ah,
sale. I
nice.
went up
Love
there and I found a
food.
fork. You know, and then
Love a
that money's
carb.
going into someone's pocket, and then that's
Yeah,
being spent in the economy. And that's the other big argument that I want to get across for local businesses. You know, when you do spend more of your money on big corporations and that money goes to billionaires, that money sits in stocks and shares, ISA, it doesn't go back into the economy. This is what I'm saying. When I book a holiday through you, you use that money to buy Delilah a new pair of trainers, that might be going to another local business, and then it's being spent and it's going back into the economy, you know.
that's it.
um
And the countries that I sell to. So a lot of the more complex itineraries that I do long haul, I've got clients off to India, actually, in oh, sorry, my dog's barking. So yeah, booking I've got going next week, next month, to India, and I've actually booked majority of their trip through a local. They're called a DMC, it's like a destination management company, but they're a local company. They're based in India, so they're going to use local suppliers. So all the money is actually going back into the country that they're
Excellent.
visiting, which I quite like. That's quite I just with travel, a lot of it's the carbon footprint and all that. I just think it's nice if you can use local companies and put the money back into the economy, and help them out in that way as well.
Yeah, no, I really like that. I really like that. One thing that I want to finish the video with is this. I know it's hard in the world that we live in now, you know, with the likes of Amazon and stuff. But I do see more popularities eventually coming forward with using more local businesses. We started off the conversation with using experts in their field. There's a concept that's actually got a lot of bad press recently from the likes of Russell Brand and stuff, all these conspiracy theories. But it's this thing. Have you ever heard of a 15-minute city?
15-minute city.
Yeah. So basically,
No.
it's a concept that everything that you need should be in a 15-mile radius. So in a 15-mile radius of where you live, you should have a plumber that services all that, an electrician, a travel agent, a furniture supplier, everything local within a 15-minute radius. Now, there's been loads of conspiracy theorists out there, like Russell Brand and stuff, that say the government are trying to lock you into a 15-mile radius, all this absolute garbage. But what
Yeah.
it's about is trying to get back to local again. You have a local farm that will supply your meat, and you know, I really love this idea, and there's a lot of big push for this. And the only way we encourage this is just by supporting local businesses.
Yeah.
If you can get something in a local business, then do so. I think there's more and more push for this because it is just getting out of control now. The just slowly, year by year, the more of our items that we purchase and more of our money is just going to corporations, and it just keeps getting more and more and more. I mean, you think back there's kind of been different stages that have caused that. You know, the biggest one was when the supermarkets came along like 30 years ago, and you
Yeah.
didn't go to your butchers and stuff like that. And then internet definitely exploded. But I'm interested. What was do you think the killer for that personalized travel consultant that everyone used to go to? Everyone used to book at Poly, like you said.
Yeah.
Was it just the explosion of the internet that just killed that personal service?
I feel like it might have coincided with like the likes of EasyJet, like the budget low cost airlines going on sale. And that sort of coincided with the internet, and just gradually more and more people turned towards online. So yeah, I think, yeah, budget
It's a hard
travel and
one
the internet.
because I do think it's a good thing to. I know there's an environmental argument, but I do generally think it's a good thing for people to experience travel. So if that sort of budget airline did allow people that may previously not have been able to travel, I do think that's a good thing. I think travel is great for everyone. It broadens
Yeah.
the horizons,
Oh,
experience different
definitely. Yeah.
cultures and stuff like that. So you know, there's some good that come with it, but definitely that you know, I just don't understand when we stopped just trusting and
Trusting.
putting our
Yeah.
money in experts, really.
I think just people. So it started off maybe with the big tour operators like TUI. I'm trying to think who was around back then, like Air Tours. They they started encouraging people to go directly to them rather than and cutting out. Oh, that's it. There was an advert. It was a dreadful advert. I can't remember what it was. It's like Direct Holidays or something. And they had this advert on the TV, and it showed like a customer asking questions about a holiday, with the travel agent in the middle and the tour operator on there, and it would like the customer would ask the travel agent the question would travel agent would then turn to the operator and then turn back, and it was basically saying cut out the middleman and come direct to
Mm,
us, and that was an absolute killer. But it was also completely inaccurate, because the reason the person in the middle was there was because they could deal with everything. So the customers didn't have to,
exactly.
it was all taken care of. You have one person, one personal contact. And obviously with the high street agents, if you had an issue with your holiday, you would just go into the agent, and you could sit there, and they would sort it all out for you. Whereas you're very much on your own when you book direct. If
Mm,
you've ever tried to get through to, I don't know, EasyJet or God forbid Ryanair, because you've got an issue with your flight, you've got no chance. You'll be queuing for ages. You won't be able to get through. When you do get through, they're probably going to be incredibly unhelpful, and you've got no backup. And I don't know, I think people are coming back towards travel agents. I don't know if that's just because obviously I'm seeing it because I am a travel agent, but I do think people are seeing the value in it. And even people like yourselves, who you are incredibly tech savvy and a very, very confident traveler, and even you can see the benefit of booking through me. So that's a
yeah.
great sign. That's a
Well, that's
great
the thing.
sign.
I think you just need to see it. You just need to see it because
Yeah. You
I
try
was
it.
that guy. I was that guy that would troll online for hours and hours and hours
Mm.
trying to save £2 or something on a flight. I am that guy. And, you know, until you started doing what you're doing with your travel consultancy, I would have carried on down that road. But
Yeah, you would
because you
never have
started
considered
it,
booking with an agent, would you? Not in a
no,
million years.
no,
No.
because you started it, and then I saw the benefits. Like I said, that first holiday where everything is booked up, everything is
Mm.
super easy. Um,
I even check you in for your flights and give you
yeah,
your boarding passes,
yeah,
and
it's
yeah,
after all
all,
that.
all the
Oh
tiny
crap, I've
little
missed it.
details.
It's
Yeah.
24 hours. I need to check in. You know,
Yeah,
it's
I've
all
just sent a
handy.
customer this morning a message because I noticed it comes up on my system, their kid's passport expires beginning of next year. So, and I know they've got a holiday booked next summer. So I'm just like, make sure, just giving them plenty of notice, make sure that they get their passports renewed, because
Mm,
that's the kind of service that you get from me. So, and from
yeah,
travel agents.
awesome. Well, is there anything else you want to plug about the business show before we before we wrap up? And
Um,
we covered
yeah,
it.
I
I
mean,
think basically just go and send you an email. I mean, it's literally as easy
send me
as
an email if
that.
you're wanting a holiday, but if you not necessarily wanting a holiday right now, this generally sort of October onwards is quite a quiet time for travel, because a lot of people turn their brains to Christmas, and they're not really thinking about holidays. So if you're not really thinking of one for now, follow my Facebook or Instagram pages, and you'll have like travel inspiration. But I also have like a VIP list where I send out usually 1 or 2 emails a week with just really nice travel inspiration. So sort of beautiful hotels or a really interesting itinerary, and it's just quite a nice little email to get, because it just gives you sort of food for thought for the future. So you might not be thinking about holiday right now, but it might be something that you park for later.
You do some
So
curveball ones as well, don't you? Like I saw Formula One experience or something you've done
yeah,
before,
yeah.
didn't you? Stuff like that.
There was a Wimbledon one as well. I did. So I do
Yeah.
UK holidays as well. It's not just
Because
abroad
that's
things.
something great. If you feel I really want to go to a Formula One race, I really want to go to Wimbledon, but trying to negotiate the tickets, the travel, the hotel,
Yeah,
all this
I'm
stuff.
working on one at the minute for the Gulf Open, which is an island next year. I'm looking at tickets for that for a customer as well. So yeah, all that kind
Awesome.
of thing.
So yeah, basically, if you got any idea of what you want to do, that's what I'm saying. It's just as simple as that. Email address is down below. Just send Trudy an email. She'll take a look at it. If you want it, you want it. If you don't, you don't. You know, just send it over.
Nothing to lose by giving it a try. Nothing to lose at
Exactly.
all. And there's no, like, I don't charge a fee for my service. So if you want to just give me a go and see what I can come up with, see if you like what I can offer, great. If you don't, there's no obligation. You haven't lost anything. It's not cost you anything. So nothing to lose, really.
Awesome. And support local businesses. Every single
Yes.
penny will be going to. I keep going on about Alexi's football boots, or maybe Alexi's
Well, Delilah's tap
lunchbox
shoes. I've
next
already
week.
talked about that as
Tap
well.
shoes.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
and also it helps to pay my mortgage and my food bills. But
Excellent. Awesome. Right. Thanks for coming on, Trude. I really appreciate it.
oh,
And
thanks for having me. Good luck with the podcast. I'm very excited to see some guests on the podcast in the future.
yes, so weekly episodes coming out as further. And guys, if you have any experiences with local business, if you agree with what I'm talking about, then put your comments down below. I want to hear exactly what you think. How can we push local businesses forward? Because I know in this world that we live in with corporations, and they're just so massive, it's very, very hard and very, very cheap to use them. But I'd love to hear from you guys what you think about how we can encourage more local businesses. And if you enjoyed the video, click a like. If you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe up top. There'll be another video. You can check that out. Until next time, take care.